Hello and welcome to the Tifo Football podcast. I'm Joe Devine, and today I'm delighted to be joined by JJ Bull.
Hello.
Reuben Pinder.
Hello.
And one of the Athletic's intrepid reporters, writes Steve, free from the mocking calls of his girlfriend's parrot, it's Jacob Whitehead.
I'll be soon back with that parrot for Christmas time.
Oh, not a parrot for Christmas.
Does she have a parrot?
Yes.
Can it talk?
It does mocking laughter.
Can it never repeat like words or sentences or anything like that? No.
Sadly not, still learning. But as we discussed, it's got 60 years of life to learn these skills.
It's got a long time.
What do you want to teach it to say?
I'd quite like it if it sort of exclusively spoke in rhyming couplets. Like if you gave a parrot the gift of poetry, what a Yuletide gift that would be.
I often like to think of the Overton Bridge.
Okay.
Something got cut from the episode, possibly the whole story. Maybe just part of the story. We won't know until Steve gets to the edit. What do we talk about on today's show, Steve? Oh, yes, here it is. Man City won again, and they have really tightened up the title race. Did male sprinters peak in the late noughties and early tens? We're not sure, because we haven't lived long enough yet, but we'll find out if we live as long as Jacob's girlfriend Parrot. Now, we then play a game trying to sift out fake names for English places. That was quite fun, wasn't it? Yeah?
That was fun.
JJ introduced a bunch of towns. Were they real or not? Who's to know? We played the separation game as well. It was a very tricky one this week. And then we moved on to the Black Cats and the Magpies for more superstition. It will only be more superstition if the story wasn't cut. But if the story was cut, then the first instance of superstition discussed on today's podcast. What is the ideal age you have to win a trophy as a manager? Is it 4 years old? I don't think so, but I think we agreed it was on this show. We then move on to a terrible performance from Tottenham and promising signs for West Ham and Nottingham Forest. I mean, more than promising signs in the case of Nottingham Forest, winning 3-0. St Mirren, of course, won the League Cup at Celtic's expense. A bad week for them. Perhaps a bad Christmas too. And then we play Points Are Bad. And the final thing to say, of course, is that this week we have a Wednesday episode for you. Very exciting. We'll be joined by John's coming, Dan Kilpatrick from the Athletics newsroom will be here too. So perhaps there'll be some Spurs chat. And we will tell you about our Christmas schedule on that there episode. We're not entirely sure yet, but it will be reduced, limited over the Christmas period, Steve.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm not doing it. Well, where else to begin, of course, than with Crystal Palace 0, 3 Manchester City. They were thoroughly XG'd in this game, Reuben, weren't they? We'll come to that, though, shortly. Manchester City, of course, kept up the pressure on league leaders for now, Arsenal, with a win away against Crystal Palace. The Eagles couldn't do the same thing. Wait, that's not what he said. No.
It really helps if you read the words, actually, rather than just the first letter of the...
Steve writes, the Eagles couldn't do the decent thing and stop Pep Guardiola's side from continuing their ominous recent form. City's healthy advantage in this game means that their goal difference is now better than Arsenal's, meaning that if at this point, if Arsenal draw and City win, the 23-24 champions would technically be top. So there's still a world where Manchester City are top at Christmas. That would be rather funny, wouldn't it? You know. Let's start with Crystal Palace, though, Reuben, because as I mentioned, thoroughly XG'd in this game.
Yeah, it was more or less 2-1, I think, in the XG numbers.
Yeah.
Palace had very little of the ball, and City, obviously were kind of probing but not creating much, as these games tend to go. But with some clever pressing traps, Palace were able to break a few times. That settled defence that City have is still quite breachable. So that is maybe one of their weaknesses that they need to work on. But yeah, Jeremy Pino had a 1v1 and hit the bar. Might have been offside, so that maybe skews those XG numbers slightly. Like had it gone in and been disallowed, it wouldn't have added to that total. So yeah, it wasn't really a 3-0 game. The difference really was the quality of players like Shirky, Foden, and Haaland.
Yeah, Foden's goal was lovely.
Yeah, really nice, and came from like some good work from Shirky as well, who seems to be trusted by Guardiola now to play in difficult games. Whereas like obviously like attacking players under Guardiola tend to take like a year or so to adapt quite a lot. But he seems to be straight in there now, like one of the first names on the team sheet. And yeah, the Haaland header, like he gains a bit of separation, and because of the physical specimen that he is, he manages to find the corner. Whereas I think most strikers in the league maybe get that on target, but don't challenge the keeper. So that's the difference with Haaland. And then there was a defensive slip that allowed Savinho to round the keeper and get City a penalty, which this time something got cut.
Something got cut. It was a reference to sexual organs. Now, speaking of sex organs, JJ Bull, Manchester City, as we said, there could be top at Christmas, couldn't they, if they win their next game? I don't know what that is. And if Arsenal don't win their next game, I don't know what that is either. My point being, it's kind of surprising to get to this stage of the season thinking how imperious Arsenal have been. And yet, not only are they only 2 points ahead of Manchester City, they're only 3 ahead of Aston Villa.
Yeah. It's good fun, isn't it?
It is good fun.
Remember when we all thought that the league was done a few weeks ago?
I remember that. Yeah.
And yet it isn't.
I thought that up until yesterday or the day before. I was like, oh, it's boring. The league's done, isn't it?
Well, as we've realised, you tend to think the league's done depending on what happens that particular weekend. Or...
It makes it a lot more interesting to watch the football, though, because I'm constantly surprised. Another result happens and then it changes what the table looks like. And I go, oh.
Anything could happen.
If it finished today, it would look like this.
And anything is possible. Like people keep getting faster at the 100 metres.
I know. Well, actually, they don't, do they?
They must do.
Well, I don't think anyone's got faster for quite a long time.
Broken Bolt's record for quite a while. There's the pole vaulter who breaks his own record incrementally because for the paydays that creates, which I have huge respect for. I could set a really high, no pun intended, world record, but he likes to do it again and again and again. You don't like it?
Cowardice.
But your point is that you think that one day someone will be faster than Usain Bolt.
My point is I think time has sped up. I feel like everything goes faster now, and not because I'm older.
No, it is.
It's not. It's not, though.
It is.
I swear everything's faster. Seconds go faster.
No, they don't.
Therefore, they probably will be able to run faster than 100 metres.
But will there ever be a boy born who can swim faster than a shark?
Yes.
I mean, Jacob, will Arsenal, if they were to fall behind Manchester City, or indeed Aston Villa at this stage of the season, do you think they've got the sex organs to get back in the game? I mean, because one of the things we know about them is that despite sort of leading at Christmas previously in recent Premier Leagues and taking strong starts to the league, when they fall behind, they then have stayed behind previously. Do you think that's something that fans will be worried about this year?
Yeah, like in the sense that the last few seasons when Arsenal have had a bit of adversity in the middle of the season, they've kind of not really. Do
you want to say buckled?
I don't want to say buckled. It's a bit more.
Are you trying to say
crumpling's bottles too strong, crumpled's too strong.
Do you want to say completely
fold's too strong? There's no way to talk about
useless.
Any sort of
pathetic.
Yeah, blinked. Let's go for a nice neutral.
Yeah,
blinked.
They've blinked.
I like wobble as well because it suggests they could retain their composure.
Yeah, I guess it depends on sort of a jelly consistency, doesn't it?
Yeah,
really.
It can fall apart.
Yeah,
but they've blinked,
especially if you turn the heat up as well. If we're sort of going too
which
deep,
is what City like to do.
Yeah.
The funny thing is that City have lost 4 games already. And like Jacob's saying, like they do look vulnerable at certain times. So sometimes they start games and another team goes at them when you think, actually, they could lose this. They're not all powerful. And they end up winning it. And then you think at the end of the game, well, they always had that in the bag. They felt like they dominated, but they didn't. Like, look at the numbers with Palace and City, again, like Reuben's saying. They got XG'd. Palace had loads of shots. By all accounts, apparently, Palace played even better in that game than they did in the cup final, I've heard.
Yeah, I mean, probably. The cup final was weird because obviously we scored early, so then game state-wise, we just defended the whole game.
Yeah.
Whereas in this game, it was level for a lot longer. And then at the start of the second half, like Walton hit the post, but then as soon as City scored, the momentum changed and Kamada got injured. So like all of these little things play into it. But yeah, like you say, you see 3-0 and you assume comfortable, but it wasn't.
Yeah, and City tend to sort of grind the league down. So Guardiola said that they're not even at their full form yet. I'm paraphrasing him. But like they're going to be better in February, he says. So they're not ready yet, he says. They're still getting there.
Did he say they're going to be better in February?
Yeah, he says around February they'll probably be better. I'm not sure exactly why. But then, so the second half of the season, the Alex Ferguson thing, you get better in the second half of the season. That's how you win the league normally. So they grow into it. And much in the same way, they often grind out games. So they have to wait till the very, like when the other team is a bit more tired and they've been pulled around and they put substitutes on and there's a tiny few gaps open up, and then players like Cherky and all that can just spot a magic ball, and that's the advantage you have of having players of that level that can do that. So that's the kind of thing. They do grind out games individually and then they end up doing it with the whole league. but they are scoring. They create chances in open play. Like they are often at risk of getting done in the counter because they try things now and again, and they're not always in the best defensive positions because they're trying stuff. And I think that's good. I like that. Whereas Arsenal, again, relying on 2 own goals, right, for them to score against Wolves. One of them was a corner that came off the post and hit the goalkeeper and went in. Like it is. There's nothing wrong with Arsenal being very good at set pieces, but they still have the thing that, I mean, everyone knows this. I'm not just saying anything new. They still struggle to score from open play. They create chances, but still they don't score.
Well, I was just chatting to John McKenzie outside as well, and he said that in the last month or 2 months, I can't remember, I'm paraphrasing, we'll ask him on Wednesday, that Arsenal are actually -2 for set pieces as how many they've scored versus how many have been scored against them, and that during that same period of time, they've also dropped 7 points, and that maybe there's, a correlation between these two
I think
things.
it was 1 month, past month.
In the past month.
Well, Gabriel's out as well with his injury, so
Big time.
that's their main headerer man. So I don't know. And then we know how Arsenal play, and we know what happens to them in the final third, and they slow it down. And Gyökeres is really not. We're not meant to be talking about Arsenal just now, are we? But we're on it anyway. Like Gyökeres is really clearly not exactly it.
Well, these things are connected, I would say. I mean,
well, yeah, of course.
To your point, Manchester City seem to be during a period of just trying to score lots of goals, accepting that maybe they're going to concede more. It's not super sustainable either, you could argue.
Well, you could argue that Arsenal's reliance on set pieces is equal to Man City's reliance on Erling Haaland to score.
Yeah.
And so if he's not around, how do you score? They'll find other ways. But if you've got him, you play to his strengths.
They've started to share the goals around a little bit more now, haven't they? But because there was that time where he was on something like 14 and everybody else in the team was on 1. And that wasn't sustainable. But Foden's chipping in with a few now.
Well, he scored in the last 4 games, hasn't he?
That header against Sunderland was very nice as well.
Yeah.
Which you don't expect from a player like him.
Yeah.
He was playing back on kind of nominally wide, but therefore kind of central position this week when we were all quite worried that Doku would rip Nathaniel Klein apart. But Foden and Shirky, like Pep's found a way of getting them to be able to function in central areas despite playing as wingers, as it were.
Yeah. Well, Man City play in the League Cup against Brentford at home on Wednesday, which is just a couple of days' time. And then West Ham are home next Saturday in the Premier League. So those are 2 relatively winnable games. Arsenal have a week's rest before playing Everton away on Saturday. We did this, I think, on an episode last week. We talked about Arsenal's upcoming run. It's tricky.
But then they play on the 23rd of December in the other League Cup quarter final against Palace. That had to be moved because Palace are in the Conference League. So they're still, that week's rest is just kind of in a different place.
They got a lot of games coming up as well. Are you trying to suggest that Steve is like
No, I'm just saying like
I think he is. I think he's written in the plan. They tried to make it seem like they've got an advantage, hasn't he?
Well, for this week, but I mean, like after this week, Arsenal have a game every 3 days or so between late December and February.
Their Christmas periods are equally busy because they're in the same stage of that cup.
I was just trying to tease you, Steve, but
I know.
Didn't enjoy that one, did you? Anyway, also Steve includes the 100-meter record for men was last set by Usain Bolt in 2009. He ran it. Was that 2009?
Berlin, 9.58.
Yeah,
it was.
He did. He got close to it at London 2012. That was like the second fastest time. I think
he set it in Beijing, didn't he? And then broke his own record a year later.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
The most recent, very fast 100-meter time. I like how you've called it very fast, Steve. Was Kishane Thompson, who ran 9.75 seconds in June this year, which is the 6th fastest 100-meter time of all time. Very fast, Steve.
What is interesting, though, is that the top 5, we're not going to do a top 5 short on sprinters, but we're all like late noughties, early 10s.
Really?
Yeah.
That's when the human
era.
race peaked,
Yeah.
you think?
How fast can you run 100 meters?
Oh, slowly. 14 seconds, I don't know.
Wow, that's pretty fast compared to me. What about you?
8.
8 seconds, 8 minutes. That's about my speed.
Well, it depends how downhill the track is, doesn't it?
That's true.
Like,
and if you're in a car, depends if you're in a car as
Exactly.
well. Reuben, Steve wants me to say as well that last week it was announced that Daniel Munoz will be undergoing surgery for a knee injury. So that's not great to lose first choice player there.
No, it's not. It's the drum I have been banging all season is that, yes, Palace are playing well, but if Munoz gets injured, we're
Well, Let's talk about Wolves. Wolves now. And we can include Arsenal in this as well. I don't know why Steve's just titled it as Wolves. Maybe he feels the Arsenal performance was one to forget.
Yeah.
There you go. Why Wolves so bad? Right, Steve. Why Wolves so bad? A late own goal? A second late own goal? God, poor old Wolves. I feel like they were actually quite unlucky in this game. They lost yet another over the weekend, this time to league leaders Arsenal, right, Steve? Just about. Wolves have the lowest points tally of any side ever across English football's top 4 tiers, 15 games into a season. That is very, very unfortunate, isn't it? Opta's predicted table gives them a 99.32% likelihood of being relegated.
Did anyone see Rob Edwards' post-match interview?
No, tell us about it.
It was quite startling because I've never seen anybody relate such sort of obviously terrible events for them with such a massive grin on their face. Kind of, they'd be asked along the line. Rob Edwards was being asked kind of, must have been awful seeing one own goal go in and then another, and then for you to be rooted to the foot of the table. And he'd have this Cheshire cat grin on his face from corner to corner. Tears glistening in his eyes. He said, yeah, it really was awful. I really do doubt it. We did so well. I thought we got back into it, but no.
Is he auditioning for an acting modelling career after his spell at Wolves, perhaps?
It sort of showed a depth of sensitivity. He's a little bit sort of Casey Affleck in Manchester by the Sea, I'd say, with some of the sort of...
It's very sad, Reuben.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. I know what you mean, though. And I mean, I feel a bit sorry for him. I sort of think... Some people said it was a bit rude the way he left Middlesbrough, but I don't get it. I don't understand why people think that. Just because he left? Why?
It's because they are like pushing for promotion and are quite likely to get it.
Yeah.
And he just really wants to manage Wolves. He played for them.
Because he loves Wolves.
Yeah. He wants to be a Wolf. And so he thinks that's the next stage in his development, his evolution as a human to Wolf. And so therefore he has to do it now before the full moon.
Exactly.
So I think the idea is that he's going to a team which is almost definitely getting relegated.
Yeah.
But he's left one that's getting promoted that he could potentially have more fun with the following season.
Yeah.
I guess the Middlesbrough fans just feel a bit like he's, deserted a positive project and they can't see the rationale in his decision to go and join a team that's going down, like JJ says.
I think it's love.
Yeah,
isn't it the only possible rationale? Like we could debate all of the other reasons to leave and join another
before you
team.
You can really think about it. Like when you're younger, I wouldn't understand why someone would leave Aberdeen to go and join like a bigger team like Rangers. Why would they do this? Don't you want to live in Aberdeen? And when you're older, you're like, oh, I know why he wanted to leave now.
Yeah,
He wanted to go to a
the
bigger
whole
city.
place stinks of oil.
Exactly. I can't walk down the street. It's too slippery.
Yeah, it's really sticky.
There's a seagull flying me around. I don't want it.
Yeah.
But this is what happens. And the same thing for all different towns. People are like, Stoke till I die. Or, you go to get a train in England out of London, you go to these places and you're like, that's not real. That's in Harry Potter. That's not a real place. Like,
right. Like which ones?
Bognor Regis.
Okay.
Or
I'm frequently
Tunbridge Wells.
Getting the train from
Bognor.
London to Bognor Regis.
These aren't real places.
Tunbridge Wells, yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Royal. Thank you very much.
Royal
I bet I can
Wells,
find some
that's
made-up
right.
places right now.
A lot of people are comparing.
We should play a game. Just I want to hear what you have to say. But JJ, can you find some real English town names and then mix in some fake ones, and we'll play the game. Guess if this is a real English town or not. That would be really
There's
fun.
a game which is Buckinghamshire Village or West Indian Cricketer, which is really, really stand out.
What were you going to say, Reuben?
I was going to say there's a lot of comparisons between this Wolves team and Derby 07-08,
right?
Who of course hold the record for the fewest points ever in a Premier League game. So I just checked. We're 16 games into this season, and at 16 games into the 07-08 season, Derby had 6 points, which is 3 times as many as Wolves currently have. But one positive is that they had conceded 38 goals, and Wolves have only conceded 35.
Okay, that's a positive, isn't it? Sure.
Yeah.
Are they a wolf in sheep's clothing?
Oh, a wolf in ram's clothing. Yeah, very good.
The thing I find so disappointing about Wolves, well, there's 2 things. One is that I think they actually have an okay squad. Like they've got some quite good players. They even have proven Premier League goal scorers in Hwang Hee-chan. Has had a couple of good seasons before. And whenever I have watched them play, I've always thought, if they just finished these chances, if they just scored more goals, they'd probably be fine.
And like Strand Larsen looked quite good last season when he had Cunha around him, and like they've got a couple. They lost Cunha and Ait-Nouri, right?
Yeah,
like I look at the Wolves team and I go, I kind of know who João Gomez is, but otherwise there's not really household names in that team.
No,
and obviously I'm familiar with Sam Johnston.
Yeah,
but like, you know,
I mean, I thought they actually played quite well against Arsenal. I think they were unlucky, and I think it's as the Opta supercomputer has predicted, and also I think they said something on Match of the Day about how Wolves would need 1.5 points per game on average to even get 36 to even have a possibility of not being relegated. I think it's already done and dusted, isn't it? But it is a bit of a shame. I think that maybe will improve slightly as the season goes.
They caused Arsenal a lot of problems in the last kind of 10 minutes before Arsenal then got their winner. They
helped Arsenal win the game quite a lot as well.
They did
by scoring 2 own goals.
Own goals though is such a quite a brutal term, isn't it, for like what actually happens? Like,
particularly when it's the same weekend that you see Nick Voltemada's own goal, which that really was stunning.
Quite, very good.
Alas. But anyway, before we play that game, JJ, one quick question for you: if you're Rob Edwards, or indeed, as Steve mentioned to me before the podcast, you're the Wolves chairman, Wolves owners, and you're being interviewed, some of them are sort of talking about Wolves as though they've been relegated already, which is very reasonable and understanding. But if you're Rob Edwards, what is your attitude here? Would you be, even in private to the players, would you be acknowledging, okay, we've been relegated, but here's how we need to proceed for the rest of the season? Or would you be saying there's always hope in football and trying to motivate them that way?
Always hope. You're trying to give them confidence. You're trying to make sure that they... Because the difference confidence makes to footballers is enormous. I see it just now with Aberdeen, who are suddenly good. And they've been awful for ages. Wolves, awful just now. There are good players in there. Like Reuben's saying, the problem they've had is they've sold all their best ones and they've brought in ones who they're not quite good enough yet. And the other problems, like one of the main ones, Strand Larsen, just hasn't been at it since the whole Newcastle transfer rumour. People are fed up with him. But it's like a wider thing within the club. It feels like the ownership don't really care that much. It's like there's no point trying to push even any higher because they're not going to make it. So they've put less investment in, and they're restricted with like what they can spend as well anyway. And so it kind of feels like there's no optimism. So everything's kind of down here. So you start and you make them a bit lower. I think they'll naturally know they're probably going down because even if they won the next 10 games in a row, that would be them on 32 points. And then there's not that much games left anyway. It's unlikely. They probably know. But you get a bit of confidence put into them, try and make them feel like they've got some room to improve and try and get individual performances better, create some chemistry between them, because you know that next season you'll be able to come and do really well. But if you just win certain individual games, you never know what might happen. You just keep going, get them into it, feeling happy, and then do the very basics there. They've shown more fight and spirit against Arsenal.
They did.
Well, that's a good thing. That's what you want, because they've lacked that kind of aggression in there. So the quality is one thing, but a lot of it just comes down to it's just football man stuff. Aggression, running, organisation, like making sure you do the extra bit even at the end, make sure that you don't concede. And then eventually, hopefully, it should all come together. But if you're Rob Edwards, you've got to try and win some games. And you can win one-offs, just got to treat them all like cup finals, which sounds exhausting. If you're treating every game now in, what month is it, December, as a cup final, you'd be like, oh, I can't be bothered with another cup final.
Yes. Now, JJ, let's play the game. Is this an English town real town, or is this an English town not real town?
Okay, here's the game. This is okay, I don't have enough time to make another one. Cheddington.
There's definitely a Chaddington.
There's also Chessington, but I think Cheddington is fake.
Because Cheddar's a real town.
Yeah.
I'm going to say Cheddington is fake.
I'm going real.
Cheddington is a real place.
Where's Cheddington?
I don't know, somewhere in England.
I'll look it up. Cheddington's a village in England. It's near Pitstone and Mentmore and Longmarston. And it's very near London. It's quite close to Luton.
I didn't get that far out, actually. I find loads of them.
Yeah.
All right. Drayton Parslow.
Oh, well, Drayton Manor, of course, is a real place in London, isn't it? Drayton Parslow. I'm going to say that is not real.
Ex-Villa chairman.
That's what I thought. That's Purslow, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's real.
Wow.
Little Catworth.
Little Catworth can't be real. Little Catford, on the other hand, of course, that's real. But Little Catworth, I'm going to say fake.
Yeah, I'll go fake.
It's real.
Oh my God.
They're all real, aren't they?
Hambley.
Hamley?
Hambley.
Hamley is a real place,
real.
but it's Hambley. I'm going to say not real.
It's where all the toys are, isn't it? Yeah, it's real.
Oh.
Hambley is made up by me.
Yes!
Tollingham.
Tollingham's real. I've been there.
Okay, that's real. And one more.
What can you tell us about Tullingham?
Nothing. I just tricked him into ending that bit. Of the game.
What's one more? Sandhole.
Sandhurst is real. Sandhole
Is unfortunate.
I would say Sandhole probably is real because as far as names of places go, often they're just named on what people saw there when they first went. You know, hey, you've been down to that Sandhole?
It's quite descriptive, isn't it? A lot
Yeah.
of town names. You know, Kingston is not the King's Town. It's named after the King's Stone.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is it really?
Yeah.
That's nice. I'm going to say it's real.
It's real.
Yeah.
Last one, Leeds.
Leeds, I don't think that's
No.
real.
That's not real.
That's a fake pretend place.
Correct.
They have a football team, but it's not a real place. You heard it here first.
Like Arsenal.
Yeah.
Not a real place.
You know what is a real place though? Leeds, Leeds, Leeds. You got to say it 3 times, then it's real. That's what John McKenzie says anyway.
#Mott.
#Mott. I don't know what that means.
Marching on together.
Oh. Football. Should we play the separation game?
Yes.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, go on, Reuben, take it away.
Okay, so this week we would like you to find a route from Hugo Almeida. Remember him?
I do remember him. He was a great player.
Rocket of a left foot.
Yeah.
To another left-footed player, Yankuba Minte.
Oh, okay.
Hugo Almeida to Yankuba Minte.
Right, here we go. Let's take a break, and when we come back, hopefully some of us will have succeeded at this game. And we're back from the break.
We are, and on his second attempt at the game, I believe, having not quite managed whichever route we decided on last time, Jacob claims to have completed the game.
I think so.
Well done, Jacob.
Please name how many links and what your route is.
Is it how many players are in between them?
Yeah, in between them.
2.
Very good.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So Hugo Almeida played with Manchester United's Anderson
Oh,
in
my God.
06-07.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah.
Anderson
At Porto. We should
at
say.
Porto, sorry, yeah.
Yeah.
Anderson then obviously went to Manchester where he played with a young Danny Welbeck,
Wow.
who is now teammates with Yankuba Minte.
Very
That's
good.
great.
This is the exact route that I sent to Steve when
Is
I
it?
created the game.
Oh, that's lovely. I didn't bother going as far back as Porto in Hugo
Okay.
Almeida's career. 'Cause I thought,
Besiktas?
no. I went through Werder Bremen,
Okay.
2007-08. A very fun Werder Bremen team that was. And you'll know that it included, Reuben, Mesut Ozil,
Oh, of course.
who played at Real Madrid in 2011-12 with one Nuri Sahin, was he recently the Dortmund coach? Wasn't
Yeah.
He was for a bit, yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't go well.
Do you remember that Nuri Sahin was once on loan at Liverpool?
I do remember that, yeah.
Where unfortunately he didn't directly cross over with James Milner, so I've had to use Jordan Henderson as a bridge
A
player.
couple of years out, yeah.
He wouldn't be very good at bridge.
Yeah, he probably wouldn't be. But James Milner, of course, does play with Minter at
Yeah, that's true. You know, Ozil also played with Welbeck.
Huh?
Ozil played with Welbeck, didn't he? So you could have just
Yes.
at Arsenal.
JJ?
I think I've got it. I went the same way. Hugo Almeida at Bremen with Ozil, who went to Real Madrid. Danny Carvajal was there. A few years go by. Alexander Arnold turns up at Real Madrid.
Right.
I don't like it.
No.
And then he played with James Milner at Liverpool, who also was at Brighton with Yankuba Minte.
Got it.
I don't
yeah.
like it.
It's a less cool version of mine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought that there was going to be a Pepe pathway, which was somehow available.
Through what, Besiktas, maybe?
Yeah,
Or
well,
Porto,
he was just
or Porto,
starting at Porto and
Yeah.
then just. But
I think the Pepe pathway is what young alt-right kids call how they got into
That's what we
it.
should call this game. It's good. Pepe Pathway.
pathway.
Yeah, that's quite fun.
Anyway, there we go. That was the separation game. Congratulations, Jacob.
You win.
Yeah, an inaugural win there. And indeed, has it ever happened before that someone has guessed? I know what happened there. There's a little frog in my throat. Ribbit. Has it ever happened before that someone has guessed the exact route that you have
I
gone
don't
for
think
yourself,
so,
Reuben?
no.
No.
That's
Wow.
suspicious. It's
Yeah.
like when Deep Blue
He's a
beat
little
Kasparov.
Yeah.
Something I missed.
What do you call it? Blue Ocean?
It's when the
chess
when the
thing, right?
robot beat, yeah.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
there's all, yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
it probably
yeah,
wasn't
yeah,
a
the
super
chess
neat
thing.
analogy.
John McKenzie's not here, mate. Stuff it.
Although bringing up robots in front of JJ, that's probably, you know.
That's true, but he
yeah.
didn't know it was a robot. So
Oh.
What are we talking about?
robots.
Yeah, I like them.
You like them?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you also like Sunderland?
Not as much as robots, but yeah,
No,
absolutely.
that's fair. I mean, people who like Sunderland more than robots are fucking mental.
Exactly.
Can I say mental? Not anymore.
Probably not.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, people that like robots more than Sunderland are they got their priorities all wrong, haven't they? But anyway, Nick Voldemade, he did something fun. He scored a bullet header to become the hero in the Northeast, writes Steve. But of course, it was in the wrong goal. Now, it does mean that Sunderland win. They have an incredible head-to-head record. I discovered over the weekend. Absolutely fantastic record. Oh, Steve, I've caught you out here. You've written the Tyne-Wear derby. I believe when it's played at home in Sunderland, you're supposed to call it the Wear-Tyne derby.
Is that so?
I noticed that this weekend everyone was calling it the Wear-Tyne derby. And it sounded clunky.
But I guess it would be the.
Do you know why, Jacob?
Yeah, I assume it's just sort of...
Because the game took place on Wear side, not on Tyne side. Would that be the reason?
I mean...
That's what Joe is telling you.
Well, that's what I'm telling you.
Yeah.
It's like you've just told me back the thing I just told you.
No, I was just showing that I understood the error of my ways.
Joe.
Yeah.
I think he is gaslighting
because it was played on Wear side, Joe.
Oh my God. There you go. It was the Wear-Tyne derby with the Black Cats. The main thing that I noticed about this was that the Tifo that the Black Cats brought out beforehand, Sunderland fans, was of a black cat. I don't know if you saw it, Jacob, but it was a black cat that was much more sort of vicious and aggressive than I imagined. It was a panther. And I sort of think of a sort of, I don't know, like a village cat. You know what I mean?
You're going to contact advertising standards.
I think I might.
This, yeah.
I think I might because I've had this different vision in my head for a long time. I love the nickname, the Black Cats, but I don't think you can start picking any old jungle cat.
I thought it was more of a witch's cat, to be honest.
That's what I
in
thought.
My head.
Yeah.
Familiar.
Like they were going to trip up. And that's why I've always enjoyed it because also, there's a lot of superstition around black cats, witches' cats. There's also a lot of superstition around magpies, which is the nickname for Newcastle there.
What is the superstition with black cats?
If they walk across your path, I believe you are going to die.
Are they more ominous than a black dog? Because they've also got something about them, aren't they?
That's true,
Well, that's the metaphor for depression, isn't it?
And death as well.
Right.
A lot of metaphors for death, isn't there?
But yeah, in this Tifo, the black cat has very vicious and powerful teeth, fangs, which makes me think this is not your household domestic cat.
I don't think that is your everyday witch's cat. That's much more of a killer animal.
Of course, this season they have played more like panthers than domestic cats.
That's true, and you could argue that they did in this game as well because someone went to hospital, and that tends to happen when you let a panther out of a cage.
Is this the Dan Burns injury?
Dan Burns went to hospital with a rib injury.
Yes.
How about that? But anyway, mainly this was funny because of the own goal. One of the funniest own goals, Jacob, that I think I've ever seen. What about you?
It's remarkable because it's a game where neither team really created a chance, and then it ended with a goal. Really good cross. I mean, it's got to be said. And then Woltemade, he's out of position in the centre-back line because they've just cleared a corner just before, I believe. And Malik Chow's just behind, ready to head it away. And Woltemade decides to go up, flicks it on, and it's a great one because, when you score a bullet header at the other end, the goalkeeper does that sort of leap where it's clearly moved too fast for them. They claw upwards like quite a big cat.
Yeah.
And Ramsdale fully did that. You watch it real time and it absolutely rockets in.
Man. It also hits the underside of the bar and then bang, slams down just behind the line. It's an absolute peach, isn't it?
It's a great finish.
A fantastic finish. Another tricky performance and result for Newcastle. Another away defeat. Here's a stat from Opta Joe about this game. No Premier League match this season has had fewer shots or touches in the penalty area than in the first half than Sunderland versus Newcastle. So as you described, Jacob, it was a stodgy game, but Newcastle particularly, they only managed an XG of 0.25 from a meagre 6 shots, right, Steve, the whole game. They're on a bit of a wobbly run, aren't they?
Pretty wobbly. They're folding.
Do you think so?
Yeah. There's a lot of parallels really with what happened 2 seasons ago when we were in the Champions League, in that asked to play 2 or 3 times a week. Their midfield is their biggest strength, but they don't seem to, in your words, be able to get up for a cup final every single kind of 2 or 3 times a week. And it's led to real issues going on. They tried to mix it up here by bringing Miley in for Gelinton. He had a quiet game. The wingers are horribly out of form. The excuse beforehand had been that the fullbacks aren't playing. The fullbacks are back now.
Right.
So yeah, it's looking a little bit negative. 2 seasons ago, they went to the Stadium of Light in the Cup and won, and that kind of ended their kind of poor streak. And the fact this hasn't happened this year, the lack of goodwill you're going to have after going to Sunderland and not just losing, but sort of not really firing a shot.
Yeah.
Firing a meagre 6 shots isn't really going to cut it.
Post Isak, they really needed Gordon to be the guy that scored a lot of goals this season, right? Especially considering the profile of player that Voltemada is. And I assumed when they signed Elanga that would work really well in a kind of like Kane and Sterling, Kane and Son kind of combo.
Feels like it fits, doesn't it?
Yeah, but I guess Elanga hasn't. Newcastle would play very differently to how Forest got the best out of Elanga. So maybe that's why he's not played as much or as well as we might have expected.
Well, it's sort of at odds with the broader picture, isn't it? Because Newcastle still have this expectation or this desire to become one of the biggest football teams in the world. Obviously, they have incredibly wealthy ownership. And that there have been some relatively recent agreements to change some of the financial rules in the Premier League, which you could make an argument could help or hinder in different ways. But at least what's happening on the pitch this season just seems to be at odds with that broader picture. It feels like they've stalled in a sort of more macro sense.
Yeah, like some of it goes back to recent windows. This summer, they're able to buy people. 2 or 3 windows before that, they were really hamstrung by PSR, which was, it was their own doing because they bought so many players right at the start of the Saudi ownership. That's sort of catching up with them a little bit. For the first time, they had a really high strike rate on the players who they'd signed working for the first time, with Elanga being one. That's not quite come off, even though Chow's been a good signing.
Yeah.
It is one which I could see turning around in the sense that they're in another League Cup quarterfinal, which are just against Fulham at home, I believe. Mm-hmm. So that could be another appearance in the semi-final there. They're probably going to get into the Champions League knockout stages for the first time in over 20 years.
Yeah.
And it is still a very tight table, so you could see them sort of putting a run together towards, 7th or whatever. But that is very much, I appreciate, a best case scenario, which at the moment you're struggling to see how they come out of it. Their defence is still pretty good. Yeah. Like in all metrics, they just are really not looking very creative at all.
Well, moving on then, St Mirren lift the Scottish League Cup, JJ. Now, this is a surprise, isn't it? Unless you can see into the future.
Well, this is the thing, because the funny thing about this game is that it's not a surprise. Most people that I know all thought, by the way, I think St Mirren are going to win that.
Really?
Yeah.
Because of the new Celtic manager, Wilfred Nancy?
Yes.
Right.
So he's come in...
Is this going as badly as it possibly could?
Yes, he's lost 3 in a row, and he's come out... So
what's the record for the most quick managerial firing at Celtic?
I don't know, but like the memes going around are a version of Russell Martin's hair photoshopped onto Nancy now. So it's reached that level. His very first game, the memes came out with him with the tactics board. We talked about that very briefly.
Yeah.
And the damage it could do. But then there's been a big talking point in Scotland where lots of people just been giving him pelters for it. And it goes to this like Neanderthalic type thing where people just, he's got a laptop, how dare he?
Sure.
Again, we talked about this before. But in the cup final, he had a notepad rather than, I think, the tactics boards. Maybe he's changed that. Maybe he's heard the criticisms and how it looks.
Yeah.
The optics. But he lost his first game, had a tactics board thing. He's trying to work out how to create space in this game against Hearts. And then they lost to Roma, which is, you'd expect that anyway. Sure. But maybe not putting in the kind of performance that Celtic fans want. And then you should not be losing a cup final to St Mirren.
No.
And yet they have. And they were...
St Mirren haven't won a cup final in, 20 years or something?
Well, like the players describe it as like once in a lifetime achievement. Like they just don't happen. But that means Celtic now lost 2 cup finals
once
in a row.
Once in a lifetime.
Exactly.
You know that?
Yeah.
St Mirren won the cup. Yeah?
Exactly.
You may ask yourself,
where is my beautiful trophy? You may find yourself within an automobile.
2013 was the last time St Mirren, but only the first time St Mirren won the Scottish League Cup.
2013?
2013 they won the Scottish League Cup.
Well, that's not 20 years ago. I was wrong,
history.
Steve.
You were, which is why I'm mentioning it now.
Incredible. Good job, Steve's here.
Yes.
We'd look quite silly. And what's quite fun about it all, actually, is that Martin O'Neill came back, and I genuinely think if they'd kept Martin O'Neill, they would have won the league.
Right.
They'd have won this game.
Yeah.
And like, what's Martin O'Neill doing? Again, we talked about, he came in, put the right players in the right positions, just made them play, made them score goals and win games and put a bit of belief into them. And not just come in and trying to make, I'm going to play this way.
Well, it's going to be a bleak Christmas for Celtic. How about that? Should we play Points Are Bad?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah? Okay. Now, you'll remember, of course, from last week, the games that were selected for Points Are Bad. Real Madrid versus Manchester City. You'll enjoy this one, JJ. And Sunderland, Newcastle. You'll enjoy this one, Reuben. We had 2 perfect predictions. 2 perfect. And of course, that means 1 in each game. JJ, you correctly predicted Jacob, you've lost your mind, man. Since that WhatsApp noise notification, he's dropping his big bottle all over the table. He's furious that JJ Bull has correctly predicted that Manchester City would win 2-1 in that midweek game, and that Reuben Pinder would correctly predict a 1-0 Sunderland victory. That's an impressive one.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
I knew it was going to happen.
Well, it's clearly you seemed to. Unfortunately, I added the maximum number of points this week. 4. Is that maximum? Not the maximum, but it's the
quite
most
low
for anyone.
Scoring.
Relatively low scoring week. John also did the same. One idiot. Kaya also did the same. A third idiot. JJ, you only added 3/3 of an idiot. And the 1-1 bot added 2, half an idiot. And Reuben, quarter idiot.
Only quarter.
You only added 1 point.
I'm very proud of that.
It was a very good week, actually. Congratulations all round. That means that the current table now looks like this. JJ, last place, 74. I'm second to last, 67. Then John, 64. Then Reuben, 62. Kaya also on 62. You've joined the human leaders, but you're still 13 points behind the 1-1 bot. So how about
we're
that?
not going to beat the 1-1 bot.
We're
So the new
absolutely
league
not.
is everybody else.
Is you versus Kaya. Is John outside? Steve?
Believe so. I'll double check now.
Do you want to grab him? And Jacob, will you play as Kaya this week for
Of
us?
course.
Fantastic. Okay, so I am the furthest player back and the loser of the week, which means I get to pick the fixtures that we predict for
That's good.
next week. How exciting for me.
Can't remember the last
Jonathan?
time we chose them.
He's gone the other way.
What do you mean he's gone the other way? Is it yourself, John?
He's got a fucking pillow.
Oh, he's got a pillow for his knees.
Joffrey Archer.
Very smart.
Great reference.
Pop down on your haunches there, John. You added the joint most last week with 4. Yeah?
I got a perfect prediction.
Very embarrassing, isn't it?
Mate.
Okay. There's some very exciting games coming this weekend, have to say. Saturday...
I have to pick.
No. Only speak when I give you the microphone, okay? Don't speak at any... I'm the other joint. Oh, fuck, never mind. Doesn't matter. There's some very exciting Premier League games this weekend. On Saturday, one of the ones I'm going to pick there is Spurs-Liverpool at 5:30. Well, that's a really tricky one to predict. And then Premier League on Sunday, Aston Villa, Manchester United. That's quite exciting, isn't it? A little bit tasty. Remember when Federico Macheda scored those goals? Macheda! That was against Aston Villa, wasn't it? Yeah. I don't know why I remember that. Anyway, here we go.
I do.
Because they were incredible goals. Here we go now. I will predict first for Spurs, Liverpool, and Steve. Get this. I think... I think that Liverpool will win that game 2-0. Okay? And then for Aston Villa, Manchester United, I can't pick 1-1, can I? My instinct is always just to go to 1-1. I get scared and then
It's because you're a robot and you don't realise it.
It's because I'm a robot.
We're very
I realise
aware
it.
that your instinct is to go for 1-1.
2-1 Man United. How about that? There you go. I'm playing this game. My friend has made this game like a little web app where you have to predict the outcomes of games. And I'm in a little mini league, but you get an extra thing. It's called a unicorn if you predict something that your mates don't predict. So it's really got me in the habit of like going for the more unlikely result when I think it's possible. Okay, John, you're next to predict. Actually, are you? Yes, you are. You're next to predict. I'd like to hear from you first for Spurs Liverpool.
I think that Liverpool will win 2-1.
Yeah, that seems fair. And then Aston Villa, Man United on the Sunday.
I think Villa will win 2-1.
Okay, there you go. You off now. Thanks, buddy. Take your pillow with you. We don't want your knee pillow. Ow! That was actually quite hard.
It's a pillow.
No, I know, but the force with which it struck my face was surprising and violent.
I'm sorry. Please forgive me.
I forgive you. Okay, who's next in this list? Kaya as Jacob. It's you next. What do you predict for Spurs Liverpool?
3-1 to Liverpool.
3-1 to Liverpool. Yeah, fair enough. Okay, and then Villa United.
Villa at home.
Yeah. they've won 10 of the last 11.
Yeah.
2-1 is taken to Aston Villa at home.
So why
2-1
did
to
you-
United is taken.
So why did you predict them?
Because I want the unicorn.
Yeah.
I am going to say that Manchester United win 1-0.
What? There he goes. He's nothing if not a brave boy. Okay, fine. Who's next?
It's going to be...
JJ.
Yes.
It's you next, JJ. Okay, here we go. Spurs, Liverpool.
I think that the score will be in Spurs versus Liverpool, depending on many factors and where they will score from. How many goals will they score? What will the score be? I think that the score will be in that game 0-0.
Oh, for crying out. It's not going to be 0-0. That's the only game we know for sure. Won't
Spurs
be
will
0-0.
lock that down. Liverpool struggle to get into them. Spurs
just lost 3-0 to Forest.
They can't defend. Listen, man.
Who got a perfect score this week?
You can't ride on that. You've had a terrible season for predictions. You started this episode talking about your Man City prediction. What about your Liverpool prediction? They lost 10 games after you said they were going to win them all.
I don't know why I'm here either.
I'll let you off lightly on that one. Now, what about this? Aston Villa Man United.
I think that the score will 0-0.
Oh my God. Nil, I think that's more understandable in that game, I will say. Okay. Reuben, it's over to you.
Yeah, I've got the short straw here, haven't I? Victim of my own success. Such is the rule of the game.
Spurs, Liverpool.
Spurs.
Mr. Victim.
Spurs 0. Liverpool 3.
Yeah. I mean,
I
to
think
be
of
honest,
the
I can see
remaining
it.
options.
It's not going to be 1, is it?
No.
No. Okay.
Was that available?
Yeah. 1-0 Liverpool was available.
I'll have that instead.
No, you
please.
can't. You've already locked it in.
He's
You've locked it
already
in at
locked it
3.
in, yeah.
Don't change it, Steve.
I heard it.
Villa, Man
Are you
United.
joking?
No.
That's not fair.
Villa, Man United.
Aston Villa 2, Manchester United 0.
Is that available?
It is.
You're not
Should we tell
coming
him?
through the headphones.
I was
Steve.
thinking about not telling him.
Oh, right. Yes, it is available. John went for 2-1.
Yeah,
So 2-0 is available. So
Okay.
Ruben
There
we
can
go.
have that.
Great.
2-0 to Villa.
Well, there we go. Join us next week to find out who has correctly predicted those results. That's the game.
I look forward to it being me. On both.